The landscape of media has changed. At one point in time, there was nothing but newspapers. Then there was the TV news. But now, everybody's online, telling this and telling that, giving information, misinformation, misguiding people. So I guess I got to change with the time because everybody has. And welcome back to Everybody Has a
Podcast.
Super Bowl edition. That's why we're a little late, because we wanted time to let the game digest and also think about the important topics of Super Sunday, the commercials and the halftime performance. But before we get to that, ladies first. We did catch some basketball action Friday, finally. After the snowstorm canceled games for almost 2 weeks, we got a chance to see Covington versus Millington, and we finally got a chance to see the Covington girls. And they lived up to the hype. Coach Glass, she has those girls playing very well. She said they enjoyed their break, gave them a chance to regroup, come together and rest, and we kind of saw that against Millington. What was your impression?
Yeah, I think Covington did pretty well. They showed real, true athletic ability. Yeah, they were pretty good, you know. It is girls basketball, so.
What that supposed to mean? Former Lady Trojan basketball player?
It's just girls basketball, you know what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of people.
There's not much to it, you know. Most of the game is just layups and free throws, so it's just like. Well, that's what most of the game was, layup and free throws.
Well, a lot of people I talked to, I've been blessed to cover this since you were born, since 2003. And even with Covington this year, the guard play, it's not as high level as it used to be. Every team back then in the early 2000s, the early 2010s had a great guard. Like Latisa McLaughlin and Jasmine Newsom at Millington, Jasmine James at Bartlett, Jasmine Robinson over at Overton. I can keep naming these girls.
Seems like Jasmine's.
Jasmine was a very important name back then. But
basketball.
Yeah, you wanted your daughter to be a great point guard back then, name her Jasmine. But yeah, it's the guard play has gotten. The girls now want to be 3-point shooters. They, instead of getting people open, they want to shake and bake, and they want to do the sleeve thing and all that. So there's no true good guard play, and when you do have that, you seem to have an elite team. And that's why the teams across the state of Tennessee seem to beat our teams all the time. Because we got better athletes here, but they trying to out-athlete you, and like you said, girls basketball. I think, yeah, you were just a little baby at that time. I'm seeing what's the opposite of progression?
Degression?
Yeah, of the girl.
Digression?
The digression of guard play, point guard play. And it might be controversial to say that, but the numbers show it, and they might be hitting more points, but they're taking way more shots to do that. Girls back in the 2010s were more efficient. I know Latisa set a record of 10 3-pointers in one game against Mumford, and I think she took 11 3-pointers. And Coach Gatlin took her out because they were winning. And plus, Coach Anderson of Mumford got sent out. A shout out to my friend Mike Anderson. He whispered in Latisa's ear during the free throw, "Please miss." She just all that she could do was laugh. It was like she couldn't miss that night. But not like she jacked up 23 pointers. She took it within the flow of the offense.
Yeah.
So efficiency is kind of a downplay, but Covington does have great athletes.
But what also turned this game into just girls basketball is the performance of the Lady Trojans.
Whoa, you come for your alma mater?
I'm sorry, but it was just so slow, so lackadaisical. Like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like they really put in that much of an effort.
Wow.
From what I came in, from beginning to end, from what I saw, it's like they gave up so quick. And so it was just like, because like the thing is though, like Millington, they have the potential to, they could have beat Covington in my opinion. I feel like they have the potential to do it if they actually run plays and all that stuff, like, and actually looked at it in a strategic way. They could actually beat Covington in my opinion. Like, Covington isn't something so like spectacular, like, oh my gosh, they're the best team in the whole world. No, they're pretty alright for Tipton County. They're pretty alright. It's not bad. Like, Covington, when I was in high school, they were terrified. Like, honestly. I remember when I got out there, I'm 5'2" probably at the time. Like 5 feet. Freshman. In the paint, in the post. With these big, tall, probably seniors on both sides of me. Absolutely terrified. Now most of the girls out there on both teams are like probably like 5 feet too. Everybody 5 feet, 5'5". Like there's not a lot of tall girls, but they do wear is their tallest player, and they've been trying to use her. And I feel like if she aims more than just throwing the ball at the net, they can actually put points up. Because that's what they did when they played. Who did they play last time we saw them?
I saw them against Bolton.
Oh, Brighton.
And Brighton.
When they played Brighton.
Yeah.
They were using Ware. They were passing the ball to her, and she was going up.
Well, a lot of time, confidence comes on who the uniform you're going against. So Millington has to, play with some energy and with more confidence. Because I saw what you saw when the game was 22-11, and they were making stops on Covington. They just weren't scoring on their end. Maybe a couple shots go in, the confidence builds up. But Millington guard play can outperform Covington's guard play if those girls play with some more confidence. And then Alexis Williamson can be an X factor for Millington, because Covington really doesn't have anybody that can match up with her on the outside, but will her shot be falling that night? So we're about to check out my highlights from the game so you can kind of assess things yourself. It's going to be more Covington friendly, but check it out.
You have converted me and you don't even know it. Like, trap rolls on
And welcome back to our second segment. It's recap time. We saw the boys of Covington and Millington. And this was a toss-up game, to be honest with you. Which team was going to maybe get the best run, maybe get a lead, jump out? Because these are two very evenly matched teams. And Coach Sells, the new Millington coach, used to coach at Covington, so he's familiar with that program. And Coach Buford worked at Millington and coached at Millington last year, so he's very familiar with that program.
And Coach Gatlin.
The legend was back in the house a long time ago, Lady Trojans basketball coach, and Coach Brighton boys. Sectionals with Brighton.
He coached Brighton girls and boys.
Yeah, so a great coach, over 300 wins. So a lot of great basketball geniuses on the sideline. So what was going to break the tie, the virtual tie that these two teams had? It was the run that Covington made there in the second quarter. They outscored Millington 21-0. Which was just unbelievable to see Millington not be able to score with the weapons they had. And Covington was just using good sound pressure defense. That's a thing about Buford and Gatlin. They love defense. So and they hit a perfect second quarter.
You could really tell that they were missing Don. You could tell that him being out that whole quarter was the downfall.
Tayshawn Dodd, the senior leader for Millington, picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. And the unwritten rule of basketball, you pick up 2 quick fouls in the first half, you got to sit down until halftime.
Which is the dumbest rule I've ever heard in my life. It's dumb. It's dumb.
It's done in the NBA college.
It's that. Listen, right? You get 2 early fouls, you call a timeout. You say, hey, stop it.
That don't always work. The
That's literally all you have to do. You say, stop it.
Is the coach saying that to the referees or his players?
Both.
Stop calling my foul.
You say, stop it. You say, hey, tone it down a little bit. Just tone it down a little bit, okay? Okay. Get back out there, right? Well, because they couldn't score for a whole entire quarter. Then when Dye gets back out there, they gotta play catch up. And they did catch up.
And Dye was angry about it, that throwdown that he threw down. I never seen him react the way after dunk to stare down the camera. So I think he was a little frustrated. We saw him frustrated throughout the game because I think he knows if he was out there, it's a different outcome. Mm-hmm. But that's what you do. That's part of the game plan. You try to get the best player in the other team in foul trouble.
And then they had the youngest players and the shortest players out there against.
Yeah, they gotta grow up. It's February. You gotta grow up sometime.
And you could tell that they were just babies.
But Covington has some men out there. Big number 22 did his thing. Number 30. And you'll see that in the highlights. They came to perform. Covington can be one of those sleeper teams that kind of did what Murphy did last year in this league before they went up to 4A, where they can just go on a run. So, and with Coach Buford and Coach Gatlin, these guys are used to having success. You know, they both had coached in sectionals. Gatlin took that girls team of Millington to state in 2008. So I have them bars right there. So that so these two coaches will have them ready. So I would say Covington is a sleeper team. Millington, if they can stay out of foul trouble, Dye is going to be the key to them making a run when district tournament comes up.
And both teams have to make an adjustment because one recently got a new coach and the other one has had, 3 new coaches in 3 years or something like that? Yeah,
Covington, yeah. Buford's their 3rd new coach in the last 4 years, so yeah.
So they have to, learn how to...
Can the Covington seniors buy into what they're being sold with their coaches to go on a special run, or are they going to mail it in? They have to ask themselves a question. Same thing for Millington. They got a couple seniors. Are they going to work with coach and these young players to get them?
Because it was really scary to hear Dye, walking off at the end of the game, taking his jersey off, talking about, I'm done. I don't think he quit, but I think he was very upset and frustrated by the performance and how things went down. And, maybe part of that frustration was with himself for getting those fouls so early.
I'm glad you mentioned that because if Dye happens to be watching this, Tayshawn or anybody associated with him, you gotta be aware when you're in a public space and you're a public figure like he is now, being a Division I track signing to the University of Houston, you're always being watched. And that's not a good look. It can be perceived in a lot of different ways. I know the young man, he's not a quitter. He's not going to quit on his team. That's just frustration, but that's what the locker room's for. Save it to get to the locker room because you're going to be a very important leader the rest of this year. Before you get to the University of Houston, when you close out in Millington, you can go down as a legend. And as we've seen with the Super Bowl, as we get ready to transition, Kenneth Walker III carried himself in a way, went to the next level, kept progressing. Now he's a legend at Arlington High School. If he comes back to that campus today, he can get whatever he wants. So, and Tayshawn's gonna be that type of person.
I feel like he has that potential too.
Yeah, so
she's shown maturity on the court.
And when we're watching the 2032 Summer Olympics, and he's out there competing, I want to be able to run back that highlight when you stare down the camera. Speaking of highlights, let's check out the highlights from the game.
Chat wanted that.
sit back after those highlights with most of the people still talking about the Super Bowl. So Super Bowl 60 took place Sunday night in Santa Clara, California, in beautiful Levi Stadium. It looks better in red and gold, but and it was
Scarlet red.
yes, it was great to see Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, 49 legends. But it was horrible seeing the Seattle Seahawks celebrate on our field. But congratulations to Kenneth Walker III of Arlington High School. Memphis was shouted out all night, the Arlington, the Memphis area. So that was great to see. And the Patriots didn't get that 7th Super Bowl. But one thing you can depend on with the Super Bowl for entertainment is commercials. And we're here to give our opinion on the commercials of 2026. Let's start off with the bad. Let me knock mine out pretty quickly. There might be some overlapping. What I don't like, she might have liked, and vice versa. Okay, for my third worst is the Pringles Man commercial. My main complaint, why plain Pringles? Give them some flavor. And plus it's kind of disgusting. A lot of stuff just wasn't funny in the commercial. Him driving the car into stuff and then the folks running to eat them. Yeah, it just wasn't funny. Number 2 for me would have to be the Pepsi commercial with the polar bears.
Don't like
that
it?
That is just disrespectful. That's just disrespectful. You don't take somebody's iconic intellectual property. I know you can't copyright a polar bear. You can't copyright a polar bear. But it's just like...
I can't believe...
It's just like... You just don't... They cross the line of integrity. And what does Pepsi have to attack that Coca-Cola can attack? Michael Jackson? What's the icon with Pepsi? Nothing. So it's not fair. It's not a fair fight. It's just not. They're coming after the big dog with this disrespectful ad. Okay, when he took off the blindfold and realized he picked Pepsi, that was cute. But it's just overall just disrespectful.
You're out of your mind. Continue.
Okay. I have a feeling it might be on your favorite list. And number 1 for the worst Super Bowl commercial, the Dunkin' Donut. We over-rely on celebrities and technology a little too much. The digitizing the youth face.
I really question your taste sometimes.
When Will Smith did that movie a few years ago, they made him look younger. Gemini. Now we all doing Gemini technology now. Ben Affleck, Steve Urkel. Yes, I still call him. I know it's Jaleel White, but Carlton. I know it's Alfonso Ribeiro, but I call him Carlton. Jasmine Guy. She's not looking like that lately. She looked like from a different world.
Jennifer
Aniston and the Tom Brady surprise reveal at the end that wasn't a surprise. It just over-relied on celebrities for me. So those are my 3 worst Super Bowl commercials. What are your 3 worst?
You are the worst for saying those are your 3 worst. I guess my 3 worst would have to be Squarespace with Emma Stone. It was mad. I didn't like it. I'm not a harsh critic when it comes to ads because anybody can find an ad interesting and like informative. As someone who minored in advertising, anybody can find an ad and be like, oh, this is actually like useful because I see a lot of ads and I'll be like, ooh, I want to try this out. So anybody can find an ad informative. So I'm not a big critic.
Was the black and white a good choice?
But I just think I don't really like the dramatic acting.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I just didn't like the way she was acting or whatever. But then my second one, probably all the AI. All of AI.com, Copilot, Gemini, every 10 seconds we was getting an AI ad. We Copilot, everybody. It was just like, girl, I don't care. We get it. AI is literally taking over everything. And yes, I do use AI sometimes myself.
I'm one of the old people that's afraid of AI.
I'm afraid of it too, but sometimes it's useful, okay? But that's besides the point. We don't need it just all in our face all the time.
Okay, and what's your number 1 worst commercial?
Honestly, I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna change it to State Farm.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, State Farm was just like the singing was terrible, and it's just like
terrible singers.
I didn't understand the plot of it. Like, it's State Farm. Then like, why is Cat's Eye there dancing? Like, it was just kind of like a random cameo. You don't know Cat's Eye, it's okay.
Half America did.
But okay, but it was just I don't know. I didn't get like I'm selling insurance from that ad, in my opinion.
It's kind of like the way the Dunkin' Donut was for me. Where did Dunkin' come in at? Are they selling pastries now? What's new at Dunkin'? I want to see a bunch of old 80s and 90s stars when I go to Dunkin'. So, and Millington's going to open up a Dunkin' Donuts soon. What can we get? So, okay, so I let you transition over to your 3 best.
You want me to start with my best?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top.
Okay,
number 3 for me is the Dunkin' commercial.
Oh, great transition.
Okay, because the thing is though, I liked most of them, because some of them I did not know.
Okay.
But
like Ted Danson.
I had no clue who that was.
Cheers.
Or the guy who was like the main character of the commercial, Will, the one who was playing Will. I have no clue.
Ben Affleck.
He didn't look like Ben Affleck.
There go that AI again. So
he did not look like
Jason Alexander is the manager there. So.
Yeah, okay, but Joey was there, and
so you all about the
Rachel, and then Urkel and Carlton, those characters. I was like, it was good seeing them. As someone who gets sad when I see actors get really old, because dang, they're about to die.
Wow.
It just made me happy to see them, and they're more youthful.
So now we can have Will Smith and a Carlton right side by side in their Gemini form.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it was very entertaining, and I thought it was cute.
Okay, so what's your number 2?
Number 2 has to be Uber Eats. Low-key, Uber Eats is tied with my number 1. But Uber Eats was just so funny to me because he's like, everything's food. And he said, look at that. He's like, he's like, that's a juicer.
Yeah.
It really does look like a juicer.
Nobody would ever look at the NFL Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio the same.
It literally looks like a juicer. So I'm like,
the NFL is trying to sell us food.
He might be onto something.
Yes.
So I thought that was very funny. Like when I first saw it, I was actually laughing out loud.
Okay, and so what's your...
My number 1 is the one you decided to slander so much. Pepsi.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow.
Listen, whoever came up with that ad deserves a raise. Because that is the most iconic ad ever. Even though most of these ads were put out before the Super Bowl, which is why a lot of people have been upset, is that Super Bowl commercials have been put out before the Super Bowl instead of being kind of like a surprise. But it was just so good because everybody knows the polar bear belongs to Coke. Everybody knows it. And it's kind of like that subtle jab. Like it's low-key like a subtle jab because, I don't know, everybody
there's a haymaker.
It wasn't, okay, maybe not. But I just thought it was just so good because he picked Pepsi, and then he had to go to therapy, and then he had to go through all the stages of grief, and then he just accepted it,
And a little jab at Coldplay there.
And it was so good.
They did take the biggest moment of 2025 that was a non-news story with the couple getting caught at the Coldplay thing. And used that at the end.
You can look at it as, okay, well, Coke doesn't really have anything to come back with. And that could be an actual comeback if you think about it.
They just don't respond.
But the fact that Pepsi thought of that to attack, I don't even like Pepsi, but I don't like Coke either. But it makes me want to drink Pepsi now. Because I'm like, they ate with that one.
Well, Pepsi proved why they're number 2, and we know what a number 2 is. Okay.
Why are you hating on Pepsi?
Yeah, don't disrespect.
Do you like Coke or something?
No, I don't drink either dark cola, but
that's what I'm saying. I don't like either.
Yeah. Okay, but it's very memorable.
It was very memorable and very creative, and that's why it's number 1.
Okay, and did you have a couple honorable mentions?
Oh yes, my honorable mention was the NFL. Their thank you to the coaches. It was so cute, the little boy. Using the same speech that his coach was giving him at the football, game. That was very cute.
It makes me think of Coach Settler at Brighton, Coach Michaels at Millington, who's retiring this year, Coach Slade Calhoun at Montfort, and then Coach William Dean up at TRA, our football coaches who teach these young men. Get them back out there.
It's very important to teach your athletes confidence. they really need that, especially at a young age. They need confidence because you cannot play well if you don't have the confidence to play.
Okay. Well, now it's time for my 3 best. I'm giving an honorable mention to Budweiser with the Horse and the Eagle. It was a little too Americana. That's why it's not going to make my top 3. It was a little heavy on the cheese.
Just too Americana?
It was a little too cheesy. But on a night where we needed some Americana juice on the actual Super Bowl broadcast, it was cute. But I think they're overdoing it because their media faux pas from a couple years ago. So they're trying to overdo it. Tone it down a little bit. It was kind of cute, but a little overdone for me. So my top 3. At number 3, I agree with you. The Uber Eats with the NFL. Everything's related to food. Matthew McConaughey with the delivery. It's so smooth. I like listening to him talk. And it's a juicer, right? You know, just
so good.
Yeah, he made it funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, and how they contrast each other. He's trying to convince us, but when you really think about it, the NFL. I'm sure everybody had a Super Bowl meal to enjoy, wings, pizza, and all that kind of stuff. That's what the NFL does.
7-layer dip.
Yeah, so NFL helps the food market tremendously every year, bars and all that kind of stuff. So it was funny as well. My number 2, speaking of funny, Instacart, the banana. Ben Stiller, this guy's dedication to delivering the joke. When he went up to the top level to flip, and I appreciate when you use a filter, it should be a part of the joke. They use the 80s filter, and I grew up watching like aerobic programs like that and concerts like that. So it took me back to that energy and vibe. And he's in pretty good shape. Ben Stiller is really real. He's in pretty good shape. So I appreciate that.
What's that AI?
We seen him in regular interviews, so he's hitting the gym. And then when he goes up there to try to deliver that flip to outdo his brother, as a big brother, I know how that feels.
Vincent Boone.
Yeah,
you have no clue who that is.
So why are you trying to bust me out
I'm
here?
just saying.
You know about the 80s reference in the State Farm commercial. I didn't bust you out.
But I
It's called generational gap.
Yeah.
Generational
I'm
gap.
just letting you know.
So that guy was hitting his own stunts. He hits that flip for real, the little brother. So a big brother guy outdo him. I understand how they feel with 2 younger brothers. So it was just funny. And you laughed at it too. So
it was funny,
okay.
but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's very guy funny.
Okay, and that leads into my number 1.
Not girl funny.
It leads into my number 1. Raisin Bran, Will Shack commercial. I got the joke a little late, and once I got it, the sophomore, why we gotta come for me all the time? The sophomore humor of the joke was so hilarious. Mm-hmm. As I watch it, see, the night when we watched the Super Bowl, I was amazed that this man is 94. William Shatner, Lawrence Willem, will be 95 next month. Mm-hmm. We're back to close out things. I'm glad y'all have stayed with us through this tough task of recapping the Super Bowl. Like I said, the game wasn't worth much to mention. And in my opinion, the halftime show wasn't worth mentioning either. Because we were using Peacock, I didn't feel like logging out, so we did sit through the Bad Bunny halftime show. I didn't know who Bad Bunny was leading up to this, and as I sit here today, I still don't know who Bad Bunny is. Mm-hmm. This is the first halftime show that I sat through. I didn't understand 98% of the words, and I took Spanish in high school and in college.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about how I understood every other word because of the Spanish class I took.
Yeah, so I just lead out the political stuff and all that. He's not that talented. He's not a good rapper or singer, and his stage presence is, and you know, the dancing was left a lot to be desired. The imagery was, I love how creative it looked on the field, and I can see what they're going for, but it was in your face. Even like the 2 guys inside of the truck door grinding on each other was kind of in your face too. Yeah, I saw that. So I would not have let my small children watch it if they were in the room. So that was my overall impression. But as somebody from this younger generation who've been to a Bad Bunny concert, now coming for her, busting her out.
I was gonna mention it myself.
And so
listen, okay. Well, I went to a Bad Bunny concert because I was a concertaholic. Look, he still am. And my friends actually listened to him, and I only knew one song, and it was his first song that he performed for like 2 seconds, and then after that I was like, I don't know what this is, and I probably heard some of the songs live, but I had no clue. And I'll be completely honest, like I kind of feel like a lot of Americans like to judge the halftime performance no matter who it is. Like people were coming for Rihanna because she was wearing red, and it was like, no, she's just wearing red, she's pregnant, she's barely able to move, like she's I like Rihanna too, so she's performing well. I feel like the Super Bowl halftime is just very divisive no matter who it is. And yes, they were going in a more political way, but like I could appreciate some of the things that, like the aspects they had out there, because like it was giving representation of the Latino community and stuff like that. And I thought it was cute, like the bodega, like
it says EBT, by the way.
I also watched Candace Owens, and she talked about this, and like, yeah, bodegas are kind of what Americans have experienced too. It's not only for like the Latino community, because like what we see as like corner stores and stuff like that, that's basically a bodega.
Yeah, it's a New York.
It's basically a bodega, right? Yeah. So as an American, I've seen that too. Like, it wasn't unfamiliar to me or anything like that, and I thought it was nice to bring attention to certain jobs that Latinas have, like nail techs. You might not know this, but there are a lot of Latinas are coming into the nail tech world. Like, I know a girl on Instagram. I know a few girls on Instagram that do nails. So I feel like it was bringing attention to the Latin community and stuff like that.
So next year, do you take the Asian community and showcase them?
I mean, yeah, I don't feel like that. I would love to see a BTS Super Bowl.
No. All Asians, all of them together. And then
they can bring all of Asia together.
Then do we do a tribute to the Native Americans?
I don't think it's just that serious. The reason why they brought out Bad Bunny is because of the political climate that we're in right now with ICE and deportations and all that stuff. That's the whole purpose of it. And
not doing
I just think instead of looking at the negative and just being angry, we can try to look at things in a more positive light. Like what Candace Owens says, that Hollyweird is weird, and they like to do a lot of things that emasculate men, and I don't think when Bad Bunny has worn a dress, like Candace has said, I don't think he really understands why he has to do that to make it in Hollywood and all that stuff. So it's just there are problems in the world, and if we're not gonna actually do something to solve it, I don't think it's worth getting mad over. Okay,
well, let me close out with this. 3 real quick points, since I'm about to use my age. 35 years ago, January 27th, 1991, Whitney Houston took to the stage in Tampa right before Super Bowl 25 kicked off and sung the most wonderful national anthem that we ever heard. It's in dispute. Carrie Underwood, all that. Just read the Millington Star. I have a top 10. So I do give respect to, Chris Stapleton and all those who perform great national anthems, but Whitney Houston by far is the best. And my third point that I want to point out is the Super Bowl is a night to unite the country, not divide the country. And Paul Tagliabue, I think he was the commissioner at the time, understood that we were in war. It happened to 2 teams wore red, white, and blue, so the stadium was full of red, white, and blue. And Whitney Houston went out there to unite the country. And she did a wonderful job that night. Now, my second point is, thanks to Michael Jackson, Super Bowl 27, halftime shows changed forever. When I was a little kid, it was Up With The World, We The People, whatever they call it. And we had bands and stuff like that. The Super Bowl is supposed to be an escape from the real world. That's the night where we forget about ICE, we forget about Trump, we forget about Hakeem Jeffries. Party lines end that night, and we party. There's not a Republican, Democrat. We are all Americans trying to watch the game. People didn't even really cheer during the national anthem when they showed footage of our soldiers who putting their lives on the line for us every day, every second. They didn't get the normal cheer like they normally get because a lot of people see that uniform, they're mad at it. A lot of people wearing the uniform of our country in the Winter Olympics right now and are upset that they're representing the red, white, and blue. Sports has always been an escape. And now my sports is riddled with political rife and anger. I don't like that. That's why I'm not watching sports like I used to. And lastly, the thing that disappointed me about the halftime performance the most, how you not going to bring Bruno Mars out there to do his part? That's disrespectful. Ain't he like Latin or something too?
No, he's Filipino.
Close enough. So,
maybe
see, you got to think about it. It's ambiguous. And that proves my point.
I think he's Filipino.
So he got fired because he's
Puerto Rican, I don't remember.
So he got fired because he was the wrong race?
No, but also he is preparing for a tour, so
Like
he might
point.
not really have time.
I like my point right now. I'm selling it too.
And he also has a lot of debt to pay off, by the way.
Oh, he might have got arrested if he was in the country. Okay, but yeah. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Latina Gaga, she did her thing, but yeah, I just want to skate.
I just feel like it just depends on what side you're on. You know.
I'm on the side of I just want to be able to escape for a little while.
Well, I didn't have that much of a problem with the halftime Super Bowl. I was a little entertaining. I think it was inappropriate with all, the twerking and stuff.
Crotch grabbing. Yeah.
And all, yeah. I did think it was inappropriate. But there were some cute moments. There were kids. There was a wedding. There was just some nice moments where I was not thinking, oh, all these people, all these Latinos finna get deported by ICE next, I wasn't thinking that. I was like, this is
if anybody's watching this
cute show.
And you're making it to the end, and you're like, I didn't know Thomas was a racist like that or this and that. Well, I just say, pick up this week's Millington Star, and King Sierra is the top story of a young lady from Millington winning this prestigious award in her community. So I love my Latin brothers and sisters. They have provided so much for this country's culture. Forget that. Their ingenuity, their hard work. And I'm not just talking about in the labor field. They do hard work in tech and other places as well. And I got a friend, Alberto. If I need him, I can call him just like that. So it's about connection. And I love and truly respect their dedication to their faith and family. They don't turn on each other. They will support each other until the other one can go fly free. When the other cultures, we get rid of our kids soon as they hit 18, they're there for one another. So that can be
I also like that at the end that he named like almost every country, not just countries in the Latino community. He talked about America, he talked about Asian countries, other stuff like,
He talked about the Americas. Yeah, so this continent.
Well, he also brought up, I'm pretty sure he said some of the Asian countries too. And
No, he just named all the Americas, like from Latin America, Central America, South America.
I thought I heard Asian country.
That's why Canada got mentioned.
I thought I heard an Asian country.
No, cause that's why I tell people, Miss South Carolina, she made a mistake, but she told the truth. She said, as U.S. Americans, we are U.S. Americans, because there's everybody on this side of the world are Americans, pretty much. South
and
American,
that's one
North
point
American.
that people have been making too about the whole, he is an American because it is, and the United States is not just America, whatever. It's been a whole lot of stuff.
But here's the funny thing, and I ended on this note. Just like, everybody else, they're technically Americans because they're on part of this continent, but they are Panamanian, they are Cuban, they're Canadian, and we call ourselves American. It's kind of like our church. There are Baptists, Pentecostal, and we call ourselves at the Church of Christ Christians. But we're all Christians. Well, don't you go by Christian then? So yeah, I had to drop that there. It's 5 steps, people. But I had to drop that in there right there as well. So I get why we separate ourselves as Americans, but on a technical basis, yeah, we're all Americans, but we're all human. At the end of the day, we're all human. So if we follow the principles of that guy Christ, I don't care if you are Christian or not, there are good principles to live by. Treat your neighbor as you want to be treated. It comes simply down to that. And as a good neighbor, we're going to leave you with Liyah's lens. Check it out.
Chat line on the beat.